Hey, with Ryan Carter, I'm Anthony LaPanta, killing time during the quarantine and the pause in the NHL season. Carts, out in the land of the Bears, White Bear Lake. What are you doing every day to keep yourself busy right now?
Go Bears. I tell you what, I'm either going to come out of this a handful of pounds heavy or extremely shredded. I don't think there's going to be any in between. I'm either eating or I'm trying to burn calories. Today I've been pretty good. I've kept it clean. Got my workout in early, but aside from that, a lot, working from home.
Life is so strange without sports, and I've had a chance to talk with a lot of people during this time, and for me, I'm involved with more than just hockey. So if one sport were to shut down, one sport has a labor dispute or a strike or an early end of the season or whatever it might be, I just move on to the next one. But right now we're in such a surreal time where they're all shut down simultaneously. And I find myself like I realize just how much of life is flipping on the TV to see what game's on, whether it be baseball, hockey, football, basketball, just watching golf, watching whatever's on television. It is so strange to have that be a void right now.
Well, and it's not just for me, television or work. It's everything. Like
Entertainment, right?
typically, yeah, I'd hang out with some buddies. Where would we go? We'd go meet at a sports bar and have a beer, or the K-Fan Power Trip morning show. They were supposed to be on their way to Vegas and betting on sports and you name it, fantasy. If you play that, it's all shut down, and a lot of stuff that takes over time. There's this massive void, and now we got to fill it with something. And as we mentioned before, I'm filling it with empty calories. I've been I've been coping with that pretty well, but no, I mean you're right. I didn't realize how much I relied on sport either, and I'm trying to find things that entertain me on the television. And boy, I just can't find it because you flip on the news too, and it seems that right now there isn't a lot of good news coming out. So
Well, let's talk a little about hockey because I think we don't know yet if or when the league is going to return this summer. It sounds like they're making every effort to at least have some semblance of playoffs. But no matter what it does, no matter how they do it, it's going to be unfair to some. And the season ended in such a strange spot where you've got teams, if you just said, okay, we're going to declare the regular season over, these eight are in. But if you look at it by points percentage, a couple others are in. And then there's a bunch of teams like the Wild that would have been just a sliver outside no matter how you do it. Do you think it's fair to just call it as it is right now and say we're just going to move on to the playoffs? Put yourself in charge. You're the commissioner for a day. What would your solution be?
yeah, well, first off, to touch on that, hockey's crazy, and I love the sport because of the parity. Like if we're talking the NBA, I don't think it's that big of a deal because the eighth place team isn't going to go in there and win a title. But that it has happened in hockey, and I'm sure it will happen again in hockey. Like the parity is just there, and any team can get hot and good. Last year we saw it where Columbus, as an eight seed, beat Tampa, the President's Trophy winner, right off the
Right.
bat. So there are a lot of cases and scenarios where you can say, man, that eighth spot is really valuable. And I mean, we should have a chance to get in there. And I don't know what the best answer is. I think for me, I think the fairest would be to go off of that points percentage. Everybody had equal chance to make their points, and whether you had games in hand or not.
From a player's perspective, how much time would you need to feel like you were ready to play playoff hockey?
Well, again, that player safety does come into the equation here because you get to a spot where playoff hockey, we all know that it goes to another level, and people are willing to sacrifice much more. Now, you'd be throwing guys out there willing to make maximum sacrifice after sitting on their couches. Now, I'm assuming that they probably have some exercise equipment too, but all facilities are shut down. I mean, athletes are no different right now. They can't go to a fitness gym, they can't go to the rink, they're not working out, and that's their profession. So that's challenging for them. Now all of a sudden you come back and guys might, though they're supposed to be all healthy at the time. I mean, you could see a scenario where guys are getting hurt, pulling muscles and jumping right back into it. So I think you have to give it some time. I think, gosh, from I would say you'd have to give it realistically a month from the moment that they're able to get together and start working out on some type of regiment to when games start. I really do think it'd have to be a month.
Wow, that might really make things tough when you start to look at the dates they're talking about for coming back. Well, hey, enjoyed the conversation with you, Cart. Stay home, stay safe, and we'll chat again.
All right, man. I like that red shirt. Look at that. You looking? Is that what is that? St.
Go
John's?
Johnny.
Oh
Go
boy.
Johnny.
Oh boy. There you go. All right, man. Good chatting. See you, dude.